Hello. So today we're going to be talking about 3 wealth secrets that they don't tell you about. The rich, however you want to categorize rich, successful people, and the ultra rich, what they don't tell you. I stumbled upon these 3 things throughout the course of, I want to say 10 years, and it was just through Googling, YouTube, all sorts of different things. So I want to be able to combine it all and put it into just one video for you guys, in case you're curious about just some secrets that you've never been taught. And I also have 3 great books that I can reference you to. If you don't like reading, then you got to get into reading because it's going to help jog your brain. I'm just kidding. You can watch YouTube videos about it as well too. So I'm sure you'll be able to find a ton of different content on it and information, and then also Google it. But just 3 top things that I can call out specifically. We'll talk about those 3 things, and then we'll circle back into what the 3 books are. You'll have a sense of it. But well, the first thing that I want to talk about is that the rich, they don't just earn, right? They buy the time back and then invest it. I think you'll notice that some of the wealthiest people in the world, they just have so much time, and then they get to pick and choose and then where they want to spend their time. So I think that's the ultimate freedom case. You're not tied to doing stuff that you don't like. And that's debatable, because even if you do something over and over and over, and you're gonna eventually not like it, but that's your choice. You get to choose and you get to do certain things, right? One of the things, the book that actually caught my eye was by this author called, or his name's Robert Kiyosaki. There's a ton of different good information that he puts out there, and then also a lot of criticism that he gets. For me, it's always good, right? I think what I was looking for, he opened my mind to learn more about how these strategies work, and then also understand your mindset and how you should be able to shift it. Because the middle class and the poor, they're always going to be trading their time for money. And to a certain extent, you're going to have to do that. You're always going to have to do that from the start, because that's all that you were taught. And then being able to accumulate that money and then not fall into that same day-to-day rat race is what is actually going to get you out of it, right? I think the education system today, at least in the United States, that's what they teach you. They just teach you how to work for people. They just teach you how to money that way. It's what you do with that money that's going to matter. So the first book that actually opened my understanding of things, like changed my whole mindset, was Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So that book, in a nutshell, talks about how the rich dad was actually had a simple, easy understanding of like money works, and then how he can actually use in a good sense, right? Like to use people rather than people use him. And then the poor dad was like the dad that just worked day in and day out, and then was a politician. It breaks down certain things like that. But the key concepts that I took from it was the rich dad broke down investments and then how to use money the right way, and then actually have good sense of like, and how to not just budget, but save to invest. If that makes sense, I hope that makes sense. If not, you can look up Rich Dad Dad, get an auto to it. You can get like a quick summary about what it's about. I suggest that you grab the book and then just read it. It has so much content and information that's gonna open the doors for you. So the second book that I really enjoyed was also by Robert Kiyosaki, and it talks about the cash flow. It talks about what that means is like, can you accumulate money? And there's 4 different ways to do it. And that's the 4 quadrants. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Left side of the quadrant is active money making. What that means is like you're an employee and you're actively trading your time for the money. So the left side is employee. That's the first quadrant. The bottom quadrant to that is self-employment. So the self-employment is more so you're working on your own terms, but you're still trading your time. So perfect example is like being a doctor or high income earner, like myself, right? I'm still trading my time for money, but that value is a lot higher. So like dollar amount is a lot higher, but I'm still trading my time. And so it's a good start, and you don't want to be on this side. Eventually you want to be able to get to the right side of the quadrant. The top side, call it the third quadrant, is big business or just business, right? So not like being self-employed. This is you started like S Corp, a corporation, or even an LLC, and you're working on the business, not in the business. You might start off in the business and then you start moving your way on top. But this is more about, hey, how can I delegate and how can I build on the business? So that way it just works by itself, right? That's the best quadrant to be in, because that's where you're gonna build the most, get yourself out of that position. It takes a lot of time, and then it takes a lot of learning and building, but these are the core foundations. Anything that's over, I believe, 100 employees, that's considered big business. But today and age, you can have like employees run everything, and then you just go out there and be building on the business, with marketing campaign, financial statements, the small stuff that requires administrative tasks. You can tailor, you can use ChatGPT to kind of with a lot of that stuff today. So that's big business. And the bottom quadrant is being an investor, right? So that's what I do now as well. So more on the employee side, and then investor. So it's okay, it doesn't have to be in order. You can, you just want to be more on the right side than the left side. So initially when I first started within my career, I was way more on the left side, and then I started slowly getting to the right side. So owning like that I was working on top of. So like examples like on my online stores, I created like online stores to just automated, and it generates me income every single month, and I don't have to do anything, right? That's fully automated. Check into it once like in there. And then my brick and mortar businesses, I've started, like I set the structure so that way I don't have to be working in the business, just work on top of it, being able to actually delegate managers to do all the day in and day out work, and then I just sit on top of it, see how the business is doing, measure it, and then improve it that way. I spend like 2 hours a week actually doing the work, and then I take profit share. So that's being on the big business side. And then the investor side is even more passive. Being on the investor side, I say more passive because I feel like everything is pretty much active, because you always have to view it. You always have to check on it. Like just set it and forget it, which is completely fine too. Part of the investment side. So being an investor, there's a lot of different ways to be an investor. You can invest into these big businesses and then become like silent investor into it, where you don't do anything. You just collect your check, ensure that the business is doing well, and then you work with those owners and CEOs to make sure that like, how's my investment going? And then that's one side of it. The other side is just investing into the stock market. You can just invest into VOO, SPY. I'm not a financial advisor again, but these are just simple things that you can do to be able to learn about it. It's simple stuff. Get more into the right side of things for the cash flow quadrant. This book, I highly recommend it. And then understand like how to change your mindset to be able to shift into that side of things. I think very important to be able to do that, because wealthy people think in systems and ownership, more hours, right? They think of like build systems, and then you watch my previous channel, with building a YouTube channel, that is more of a system process, and then you embed like the stuff that you want to do to it, like that makes it more consistent and fun. So like systematize it and then make sure that it's repeatable, and then you'll be fine. You can use AI to leverage that. You can build side income, AI, and then also like those systems, put it in place so that way you set it and forget it, and you work on the business. You're not consistently in the business. what they do, right? That's what the rich do. On the investor side, so it's making money through ownership. You invest the money so that way you can have more share to it. You'll have more control, but you're not in the business, so you're just investing into it. I think one thing that I'm going to be focusing on to shift more to the right is creating like businesses, side incomes, building AI or leveraging AI to help bridge that gap. I think it's a really strong thing to be able to do. And time into these assets. These assets work, and then that's where I'd rather invest my time, in the work. You don't want to be doing the work. I just want to invest my time in learning about it and then getting myself educated, so that way I can put my money there, so that way it can work for me. So to me, I think that's a good bridge for to do that. And I think it's probably going to be something that would be beneficial for you as well, to be able to shifting that mindset and build that bridge and not get stuck. This isn't about going to be, I'm just going to be a full entrepreneur tomorrow. Anybody can do that. You can go and quit your current 9-to-5 and then say that you're an entrepreneur, but you got to start building out a plan. You got to protect yourself. You got to have the nest egg. You got to know what you're doing. You take the leap. Trying to prevent people from getting hurt like myself. Like I was able to learn from these books beforehand, and it still hurt me. You think like making sure that you have a progression to it and then not just jump straight into it. More about planting the seed now, so that way you stop being stuck later. That's the other thing. That's 1 and 2. Again, let me repeat what the 1 was. The 1 is going to be more about, I'm going to go back to my content plan. So if you guys can take a look at that. So 1 is don't just earn. So the rich don't just earn. Number 2 is going to be more so on the cash flow quadrant, which ties with 1 as well. So like build on investments, so that way they don't have to be working in the business, more working on top of the business. Quadrants, you're on the right side of the quadrant. That's where you want to be. This is the big business and then the investor side. Left side is the employee and self-employed. You don't want to be on that side. You can be on that side. That's most where everyone's going to start, but start moving yourself to the right side. Big business and investor. The third point that I want to talk about is once you do have a good sense of understanding where you want to go, start setting up other investments outside of stocks. You can do real estate as well too. But outside of even real estate, the other vehicle that you can put your money in that the wealth do heavily, and this is known by like top wealthiest families in the world, the Rothschilds. I don't know, that's all I can think about. There's a ton more, but third thing is whole life insurance. I know it sounds weird, whole life insurance, right? You hear about all these hacks, but it's real. Like, I don't know if you heard it or not, but like people think it's a scam. I thought so at first too. That's definitely not a scam, right? Over time, if you do whole life insurance and if you set up your policy the right way, and I'll go into it in a different video, but just high level. If you set up your policy the right way, you're gonna set up not just your family, but this is generational wealth. You're able to create real wealth in the future, even when you're dead. Like setting up your family into life, generations on. And so that's what I'm trying to build. If you're trying to build that, that's definitely the way to go. The whole life insurance policy, set it up the right way. There's also ways that you can use your policy today to accumulate even more wealth, use it as a real vehicle. So infinite banking, becoming your own bank, it's a thing, it's real. I'm using it today, doing it. I set up my kids in the future. I set up my grandkids. I set up their grandkids. Like the will, so that way it follows that. So like, good, we're set. I want you to be able to follow the same. If that's something that you want in the future, these are the 3 things the rich and the wealthy won't tell you. When you go to school, public school, they're not going to tell you none of this stuff. They barely even teach you about personal finance. So why are they going to tell you this? I'm telling you now. So hopefully this helps you. Here are the books. Let me pull it up on the side. So the first book is going to be Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. Second book is going to be the Cash Flow Quadrant. Geez, I bought so many of my friends these books. Include a link so that way you guys can check it out on Amazon. I don't even know how to do like links. I'm just going to give it to you guys and then no links. And then this, I didn't tell you about this book, but this is like easiest thing to start learning about banking and then whole life insurance policies. Don't view it like just an insurance policy. View it as like bank, right? And then view it as like investment vehicle. So that's a mind shift that you're gonna have to do on your own. I can help you. Watch my videos. So Becoming Your Own Banker by Nelson Nash, really good book. So this is all about the infinite banking concepts, your own bank, and then not letting credit card debt get out of control. Even if you have credit card debt and you're in debt now, start shifting your mindset, start making these changes now. These strategies you can apply now. You don't have to be rich. You don't have to do stuff. You don't have to be making a high income either. If you are, easier, it's just gonna be a little bit easier for you, right? Money makes things easier. They don't solve problems and they won't solve your problems going forward either. You just have to know how to apply it and then make the money work for you and then actually have these in place in order to get you where you want to go, whether it's short term or long term or like your death. So yeah, that's it. Thank you. Bye.